This is David Blumingberg's first ever interview of the most important people in his life for the DCF.org. He chose his father, Earl Blumingberg, as the first most important person in his life in his first interview.
Dad, how did you start working as a kid?
Well, I was in high school, and I needed some money, and my dad knew these people at this factory, and he asked if I could go to work for him in the summertime. And so I started working in the summer for him, and then when I went back to school, I was working part-time there, and that's how I started my first job.
What made you decide to go to the Navy?
Well, the Korean War was on, and they were talking about a draft, which they did do, and I didn't want to go into the Army and be on the ground fighting with a pistol or with a rifle, so I decided to join the Navy, and I joined the Navy for 4
You
years.
got in love with another woman. How did you get in love with Marlene?
Well, Dave, I'll tell you, truthfully, Marlene was the first girl that I loved and really thought that maybe I'd marry. And when I was in the Navy, my father wrote me a letter and told me that she was running around with other boys. And I got jealous of that, and I wrote her back. I wrote Marlene back then, your mother back, and told her if she was going to chase around with other boys, then I didn't want anything to do with her. And so that's how we broke up. And then I met the girl that lived next door to us when I come home on leave one time, and I started going out with her, and I just I went with her for a while. We were going to get married, and my dad knew the mistake that he had made, so he called Marlene up to come down to the bar where he was tending bar and managing, and he called me to come down there, and he got us both together, and we started talking and decided that we'd made a big mistake, and we just rode off then and started looking for a place to get married, and we ended up in Indiana, and the next day, and that's where we got married. And my dad and mother had to come down there because I wasn't 21, so they had to come down and sign for me. Marlene, your mother had a birth certificate that said she was 18, and so she didn't need anybody to verify her, but the man had to be 21. So that's how we did that. And we got married, and that was it. And everybody on the street didn't think that it would last, but it lasted 52 years. And we had you and all the other kids, and we're just one big happy family. But I don't even know if the kids have ever heard that story.
Say once, Dave. One time. One time you heard that story.
What made me comment that story?
You heard that one time before?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember telling it, but I guess I did. I was proud that we got
How
married.
did you start winning the GM?
Well, I had gotten out of school, out of the Navy, and I was going to Lawrence Tech to get a degree. And I was working at Hudson Motor Car Company, but they went bankrupt, and so I was working in a gas station and peddling vacuum cleaners, and doing part-time electrical work, which I could do. And one of the people that was living in the apartment with us had gotten a job at Chevrolet, and he said they were hiring. And he said, I'll bring you home an application. So he brought an application home for me, and I took it into Chevrolet, and I interviewed for a job, and they hired me. And that's where I continued working for him for 33 years. Never a sorry moment for it.